exploration has led to the discovery of one of the most intriguing planets in the known universe. The planet Akka was once home to the Kohaku River Tribe. Once one of the most innovative and captivating communities of their time, the Kohaku River Tribe is now one of the greatest mysteries of our universe. They live by the mantra Kokoha Kahu Hias, meaning the strongest current without a stream is wasted as a wave crashing on the shore.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
The thriving, creative, and somewhat wild Kohakus gave us the building blocks for many of the technological, military, and even societal advances here on Earth. In addition, they created a flourishing society that was capable of hunting, gathering, agriculture, commerce, and trade, as well as many other markers we use to determine a society's level of civilization. All of these centered around their vast landscape of water. Their most valuable and most prevalent resource was water. By using this commodity in brilliant and innovative ways, they found solutions to help them survive through extreme seasons. Imagine winters of Scandinavia and the summers of the Serengeti.
The fluctuations between extreme heat and extreme cold still afflict this land, and any earthling would be very uncomfortable living here. But the Kohaku people found ways to survive. In addition to the clothes they wore, which were made of animal hides, we have discovered that they also used a plant known as nanohorps, which helped to regulate their body temperature. It is believed that they took the leaves of this palm-like plant and wrapped their ankles with it, which would keep their bodies warm in the cooler temperatures and cool in the warmer ones. Because of this plant's thermal regulating qualities, it is also believed that the Kohaku people used the stalks to build the frames of their dwellings and the leaves to insulate them. The dwellings we discovered were in much ruin, but gathering from what remained, we believe their structures resembled tree houses nestled closely together within their walled city. Their tree houses are believed to be similar to the one that was once inhabited by the Robinson family in Tobago.
The most notable distinction of this planet is the miles of waterfall. Both their width and their height are unlike anything found on Earth.
The Iguazu Falls, located in South America, are probably the closest thing on Earth we can compare their waterfalls to. Although this might seem like a detriment, the Kohaku tribesmen were able to make these powerful natural wonders work for them. The waterfalls also produced a strong current that allowed the newborn babies to be brought downriver, and what gave resistance to the adolescents.
In any society, children play an integral role, learning and growing with their family. However, the Kohaku tribe is very unique in that children raise each other away from the adult tribe. This is until they undergo a rite of passage, completing a deadly journey, and are accepted into adulthood. Many question, what is this? Some sort of Lord of the Flies preschool? Where are the parents? Who's in charge here?
At birth, Kohaku babies were sent down the river to live with other Kohaku children, all under the age of 15. The Kohaku children were left to fend for themselves in their youth, often being cared for by older children of the tribe. One elder of the Kohaku tribe resided amongst the children to watch over them and guide them to early adulthood. While the children lived in the child tribal area, they carved their own stone toys and gathered and hunted for their own food. By living amongst one another outside of the adult society, the children created a strong bond with their peers and did not develop a concept of gender roles or a family unit dynamic. This made for a very different sort of communal family dynamic, where their roles and responsibilities in adulthood were determined by their individual skill sets, not their gender roles. At approximately 15 years of age, or when the young adult felt ready, He or she would build a raft in order to travel upriver. This voyage was made alone as a test of the person's ability to survive on his or her own. After their journey, the new adults began life in the adult society, choosing a trade that would contribute to the tribe. Many found professions as craftsmen, engineers, healers, and teachers, pursuing a field of knowledge and discovery that would be most fit to their own abilities.
By using their natural resources, namely water, the Kohakus revolutionized the way we think of water-powered technology and whet our appetites for innovation due to their unsustainable thirst for technological improvements.
Although their population was an estimated 8,000, their energy usage was more comparable to a population of about 800 people on Earth. None of their energy came from fossil fuels. Instead, they utilized their main resource being water. The tribe's inventors created what we have come to call the waterfall gear. It's a vehicle propelled by the force of the enormous waterfalls, some stretching up to 75 feet tall. Harnessing the power of these gushing falls, the waterfall gear would rotate from the base of the waterfall towards the top, where the majority of their civilization resided. The main purpose of this invention was to travel up and down the steep waterfalls for fishing or trade, but was also utilized by the tribe's military forces. Another tool they created to aid them in their fishing and traveling pursuits was the H2 goo, a very simple concoction that gathered the natural salts in the water and condensed it to a limited area. Our own Salt Lake or Dead Sea showcases this kind of idea, but the Kohaku really perfected it. Instead of just allowing a swimmer to experience buoyancy, H2 goo creates a semi-solid, semi-gelatinous form on which fishermen can literally walk on water. Because the planet's surface was nearly 96% water, they needed to find ways to access larger portions of our world, and so the Snarflat was born. It was a small glove that essentially worked as a self-contained, much more efficient scuba. Microscopic needles pierced the skin just enough to allow oxygen to be sucked in by filtering the oxygen from the water, and also to release the consequent carbon dioxide. The glove oxygenated the blood enough that a swimmer could dive deeper and swim longer without breathing through normal lung functions.
Because of their brilliant strides in technology and the wealth earned from harnessing the powers of water, the Kohaku people were constantly under attack. From the mighty Gowlings to the towering Bamblugas, they had to create defenses to avert all foes. Brave soldiers and cowardly men-children alike played a part in the Kohaku army.
The Kohaku River Tribe's military consisted of two major groupings, the fighters and the hiders. The fighters resided at the top of the river and were armed with weapons. The hiders were downstream and would hide in a contraption we call the Dushanubi. Now, the Dushanubi was made of a material that's similar to plastic. This material was extracted from a plant found under the falls and was spread over a rock to get the half-round shape that allows an air bubble when submerged underwater. This contraption was used for the hiders to hide underwater when dangers were around and was so well designed that no air bubbles would show, and this left everyone completely undetected. The fighters were found at the top of the river and had weapons such as the Abruzzo, which was a weapon that would slip onto the fighter's hand like fingerless gloves. This weapon consisted of bamboo-like plant that was used as a tube to shoot out poisonous darts. As the warrior pushed each finger down, the corresponding tube would shoot out a dart with amazing force. Another weapon that served the people in their battles was a high-pressure water cannon called the Wanaka. This tube would collect water from the waterfall in one side of the tube, and due to the curve of the tube, was able to be aimed at the enemies. The pure force of the water could knock enemies clear off of cliffs and propel them at least 30 feet, sometimes causing internal damage or even death to the intruders. The Kohaku warriors' armor was made from bones of animals from the surrounding area because the material was strong yet light enough to keep the people quick on their feet. Another defense mechanism that the people used was a gear system that would hide their wall-mounted city. This was a tripline that was rigged around the perimeters of their city. When tripped, the facade of the city would change from the normal open wood view to the camouflage rock front that blended perfectly with the surrounding rock walls and left their city completely undetected.
The Kohaku people realized the strength of the individual, as well as the community. They capitalized upon personal strength, but also aided one another in times of need.
The concept of marriage had no societal benefits, and therefore was not utilized in the tribe. The closest thing to marriage would have been the bonding ceremony, in which two Kohakus of any gender would throw an event where they exchanged displays of personal skill. This would be to celebrate their positive feelings towards one another. Examples of these gifts might be jewelry made of rocks, wood, or shells, rock or wood carvings, dream catchers woven from feathers, or even poems or songs. If a friendship or romantic relationship was eventually dissolved, each Kohaku would save their gifts, believed to be a piece of their soulmate, and be buried with it so that their souls would remain joined for eternity.
While technologically advanced, the Kohakus also looked to the elemental gods for guidance. It is believed that they had a mother tree. However, they burned that mother down.
An integral god in the Kohaku religion was the Muni goddess of the wind and also of time. Time and winds were considered to be closely intertwined, as the winds affected the speed of the river, and also how quickly one could reach their destination traveling by boat. The Muni goddess was also the god of change, as the people noticed that both time and the speed and direction of the wind were always changing unpredictably. In the Kohaku tribe, there were gods that represented each season of the year, and the predominant element corresponding to that season. Novi, the earth goddess, represented spring and the fertility of the soil. Razi, the fire god, represented the summer, sun, and also coming of age. Muni was the goddess of the fall and the harvest, while Wabi, the water god, represented the winter flooding of the river and also symbolized rebirth. In addition to bonding ceremonies, birthdays were also celebrated. Unlike modern birthdays, the Kohaku birthday was considered the day that a child arrived in the adult culture, after their journey up the river. During birthday celebrations, masks made of feathers and shawls made of animal skins and furs were traditionally worn. The Kohaku holidays usually coincided with events that symbolized each season. At the planting of the first seeds, considered to be the new year, would be the Novi festival, during which the tribe would have watering contests to see who could water the most plants. This is similar to the Easter tradition of competing to find eggs.
Deep beneath the layers of time, space, and water, this tribe has left us a cacophony of voices that whisper the secrets of their semi-aquatic, idiosyncratic community. It has been the arduous duty of our brave space explorers, scientists, anthropologists, and noted hypothesizers to decode these messages in hopes of creating a brighter tomorrow. As the Honorable Kevin Costner once said, in the resounding cinematic masterpiece known as Waterworld, "This is my boat. I guard the way I like it. You take up space and you slow me down." The magnificent people of the Kohaku River Tribe live by similar beliefs. They grew and thrived from the strength of the water surrounding them, just as we grow and thrive with each Kohaku mystery we uncover. Tune in next week to learn the dark turn the Kohaku history takes, why they have vanished, and where they might be now.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.